Welcome to World at Work TV. I'm Allison Avalos, and I'm joined today by Michelle Smith from OC Tanner, and we're talking about a people-led economy. Michelle, start off by telling us what a people-led economy is.
Well, a people-led economy is actually what I think most of us in HR have longed for a long time. We've been lobbying our senior executives to really understand and appreciate that all the posters on our wall that say people are our most important assets really has come true. So now the research demonstrates that, in fact, people are at the heart of business success. But there's a caveat that people are looking for a little different relationship with employers, with vendors, with partners than they've had before. They want more collaboration, more partnership, more voice in their career, especially for employees. The other thing that we're finding in this people-led economy is that the definition of success is shifting from purely economic terms to terms that are more inclusive of doing meaningful work, making a significant contribution, social impact that the organization and that our work does. So it's an exciting time to have the people at the center of our economy.
So what's the significance of a human value connection?
Well, the human value connection comes out of the research from Northwestern University that talks about a sort of a current day model, if you will, of the realities of business. That it's not just our shareholders that we have to make sure that are happy to have a successful business. Now it really is a continuum, an expanding group of stakeholders. It's your employees, it's your shareholders, of course, it's your customers, but it's also your leaders in your organization, it's your vendors, it's your suppliers, it's your community in which you operate, and it's society at large. All of these groups can help us survive and thrive as an organization, or if we don't have the relationship exactly right or we're not optimizing it, it could be working to our detriment, even if it's inadvertently in the organization. And the best part is that the research was also able to confirm that not only does this sort of have a common sense feel that this makes sense, that you want to get everybody rowing in the same direction to help your organization, but these relationships, these connections in your business also have a profound impact on performance, even doubling the performance level of organizations when you get everyone aligned over the same goals.
So what is the difference between employee engagement, which we hear a lot about, and employee enrichment?
Well, enrichment, we like to say it's the next evolution of engagement. We've heard a lot from employees especially that they love employee engagement initiatives and they understand that it is to the benefit of the organization and it benefits them. But when you really sort of peel back the onion for employees, they feel there's a bit of manipulation there. And in a hyper-competitive world, we simply, to attract the best talent, we can't have anything that would be harmful of retaining great talent or attracting skilled talent. So we really set out to address that. And what enrichment is a much more authentic relationship with all of those stakeholders, but especially our employees, so that they are sharing in the vision of the company. They are participating in their own career path and what that looks like. It's about value co-creation and having, as I said, this shared vision of where to go, but also realizing that we're bringing our whole selves to work. And people sometimes have good days and we have bad days, and yet we can still contribute in amazingly interesting ways. And so we want to be authentic with each other, we want to have a voice, and this, more than anything that we found in the research, really helps to increase engagement and participation levels in organizations.
So tell me about this enrichment leadership model and how that differs from other leadership models we've seen.
Right. Well, the first thing that's very different about it is not a linear model. And I've never seen a leadership model that wasn't very linear. But I think it reflects the realism of today's workforce. There's very little in work that's very linear anymore and sequential. Oftentimes it's pretty convoluted and involves a lot of people, and you're doing creative things to get to the end result. it addresses the human value connections that we were talking about a moment ago, of that you've got your customers, you've got your employees, you've got these various stakeholders in your organization, and the collaboration between them, much, much more collaboration that we're looking at in this model than in other leadership models, and turning back upon itself, where we want the employee to do what's right for the organization, but also for the organization to be enriching and developing the employee so the employee can continue to develop and give to the organization. So it addresses the full spectrum of stakeholders that can help that organization succeed, and addresses the reality of these other relationships that are critically important, rather than that single focus on a shareholder or the customer is always right, but the body of relationships. To the point that the research actually is suggesting that businesses now are really purveyors of relationships. And those businesses that have strong relationships between their suppliers, their customers, their employees, their leaders in the community, outperform those businesses who are a little more inner-focused and not taking advantage of all the stakeholders in the organization.
You clearly have a lot of passion for this space, which I very much appreciate. Talk a little bit about helping leaders understand that business issues are in fact people issues.
Oh, it's my favorite thing, that business issues are people issues. I think that this represents probably one of the single most impactful changes that we can make in organizations. It's a combination of tremendous potential and capturing some low-hanging fruit. Too often, as leaders, we look to the operational elements of the organization. And when there's a problem, we look at the spreadsheet. We're so tempted to pull out the spreadsheet and look at what can we do to solve the problem. And we both know that oftentimes that means cuts, layoffs, some kind of expense control, when there's such a much more elegant solution often available if we would in fact tap the resources and think about, can this problem be solved? Is it a people issue rather than an operational issue? And I absolutely guarantee you that 9 times out of 10, the problem can be solved much more elegantly with a much more successful long-term solution when you are looking at it, in fact, in this way, and you're tapping into the collective wisdom and genius and creativity of your employees, your customers, all of your stakeholders in the organization to solve that problem for you. And I think it has enormous opportunities for organizations to make a tremendous difference in not only engaging and enriching their employees, but being able to solve problems far more profitably, more productively, and humanely as well.
This makes a lot of sense, Michelle, but perhaps this might be a little bit more messy too.
Yes.
Talk about encouraging leaders to embrace that messiness.
It is messiness, and it's not in the cluttered cubicle sort of way, but that people are messy. You know, I see it all of the time where leaders are very comfortable working with spreadsheets and kind of poring over endless data to make a decision on how we should attack this problem or this challenge or this opportunity. And they're a little less, more reluctant actually to engage people because we're often not the same people, you know, every day. And we can not even be the same person in the morning. You can come in and you're feeling very engaged and refreshed and willing to change the world, and then you get that email or that phone call that dynamically changes your day, and you're kind of not the same person. But it is that wonderful concoction of creativity and persistence and the idiosyncrasies and all the dynamic elements that makes us unique individuals, that also allows us to make the brilliant breakthroughs, to solve the tough problems, to muscle through on those issues where it just takes doggedly, you know, diving through the information to find an answer. So absolutely, I encourage leaders to tap into those wonderful qualities of that human potential and not only embrace it, but unleash it and allow that creativity and those ideas to come through, because you will be amazed what you'll find out and where you can take your organization when you really do tap into this enormous wealth of your people assets.
Thanks, Michelle. For World at Work TV, I'm Allison Avalos.